Hey guys, Coach Gaglione here, GaglioneStrength.com. We're doing another interview with a strong woman. We got Mags on the line today. How you doing today?
Hi!
So I met Mags briefly at USAPL Nationals. She had finished with a great deadlift. So just let the viewers know a little bit about yourself, like who you are, and then what you're doing right now. I know you just competed, so maybe talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit more about me. I am 29 years old. I'm from Connecticut. I powerlift at Gleason Performance Training. Currently coached by Eric Kenry out of Sarasota, Florida. My most recent experience at nationals was it was ups and downs. You get a it wasn't a perfect meet, absolutely, but it ended with that deadlift, which I ended up pulling 412 at
Nice,
135 body weight.
awesome.
So I finally hit that three times body weight mark, which I was super stoked about. But I'm a physician recruiter in Connecticut, which sounds super boring. It is pretty much super boring. So that's about what I got there.
All right, great. And how did you first kind of get started with lifting?
So I actually got started through boot camp, oddly enough. So I've never been athletic in my life. I'm blind in my right eye, so like my coordination is really bad. So like watching me play volleyball or baseball or anything that requires any kind of depth perception is like really fun because I miss all the time. But so I was never really athletic. But I got into my mid 20s, like 23, 24, and I was like, a little overweight. I had that college pudge, and I was like, okay, it's time to do something about this. So I started going to boot camp. It was like an all-women's boot camp, um, and kind of fell in love with pushing my body and really getting uncomfortable and pushing myself beyond the things that I thought I could do.
Sure.
And that definitely became one of the themes of my, I think, athletic career, where I'm really comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that's what
Awesome.
I really enjoy about the whole process is pushing, I guess, pushing my physical limits and pushing my mental limits to see just how far I can go. Some days it's further than others, but
Sure.
that's definitely been a theme that's resonated with me through my powerlifting. So.
Great. Awesome. So I just want to kind of rewind a bit. I know you had you did you have an accident with the eye, or was that something you were born with, or with the?
No, so the eye thing was just a birth defect.
Okay.
But as far as just things in my life that have been, I guess, contributing factors or things that make me want to be strong physically and mentally. I well during my starting to just get into fitness, and like during those boot camp days, I was really uncomfortable with my body. Not only because I felt I was overweight, much like many other women do, and one of the great things about this sport is the body consciousness movement and getting women of all shapes and sizes to appreciate their strength and appreciate what their body looks like. Depending on their hard work and all that good stuff. But one of the reasons I was very uncomfortable with myself was because at a very young age, I started self-mutilating. I was a cutter, so I have a lot of scars on my body, which I covered up every day, all the time. I mean, I wore sweatshirts and jeans every day from like the ages of like 16 up until like just a few years ago, actually. And getting into lifting and changing my body and being very proud of all my hard work, and the way that my body was looking and the way that my physical strength was manifesting, that I started to get more and more comfortable, not only being myself, but wearing shorts or
Sure.
wearing tank tops where my scars can be visible. And even people still ask me now, oh hey, how'd that happen? And I used to just kind of like steer the subject very quickly away from that, but I'm a little bit more comfortable now with who I am, and that's largely due to the confidence that I've acquired from lifting heavy.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. And I also did deal with an injury 2 years ago now. I pretty much didn't squat or deadlift for 8 months. coming up to my first nationals performance last year, 2015, I wasn't able to squat basically at all or deadlift basically at all until 8 or so weeks before the competition. And if any women out there are dealing with an injury or, any of the mental repercussions that come with that, they can absolutely feel free to reach out to me on social media.
Awesome.
Or by email. It's definitely something that's very specific to the sport, but it can be taxing in a lot of ways. And I understand that the world sometimes isn't very nice to athletes who are hurt because they're like, you did it to yourself. But, if you guys ever need an ear, awesome. I definitely know what you're going through.
So would you say that, it seems like you overcome a lot, and it's a lot of stuff I kind of learned about you, which was great. So thank you for being open with that. Was there ever a defining moment where you're like, this sport is for me, and this is I could really feel this helping me? Can you kind of pinpoint a time where you kind of realized that this was something you wanted to pursue more?
Yeah, it was not so much a defining moment, like an acute kind of a moment. It was more my transition from that boot camp kind of fitness to more strength-based training. I just decided to try it. The gym had 2 sections. It was, the ladies on one side, and then, all the, dudes broing out and doing all the barbell stuff on the other side. Sure. And they were trying to recruit more women. So I was like, yeah, why not? And I remember, working with the dumbbells or working with a barbell for the first time and seeing a picture of myself and like, wow, that is just so badass. And it's frankly a little unconventional to see, women in that kind of environment, especially with all the guys around you and with all the dirt and the grit and the heavy metal and all that stuff. Definitely it's not a place where you see a lot of pictures of women, outside of our community. So I thought that was pretty cool, was that, I was a little weird, a little unconventional, so.
Awesome. Very cool. So, obviously it seems like you really improved yourself a lot, not just physically, but also mentally, emotionally as well. If there was a kind of a woman that was maybe struggling with maybe some of the issues that you had, what advice can you kind of give them? If they were maybe on the fence of getting started, or maybe they're just kind of dealing with some kind of mental kind of struggles or kind of confidence issues and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say that if you're thinking about getting into strength training or you've done a little bit and you're unsure of whether or not you should continue, or I know there's a lot of issues with women thinking that they're going to get, huge and manly and bulky if they start lifting heavy, which you won't, don't worry. I've actually gone down 3 dress sizes since I started lifting, so, and my butt is big.
It's always a plus.
I know, yeah. So, please don't put that in the thing. So, I would say that definitely a lot of the reward that comes with strength training is the fact that you're doing something that puts you in a situation where you're uncomfortable, and that forces both physical and emotional growth. And so if you can prove to yourself that you're strong on the inside and that you can basically bear whatever, uncomfortable stimuli is out on the outside, you just over time become a lot more, mentally equipped to deal with that. And with that comes, confidence. And that, that has to be at least the number one thing that has been a huge factor with my passion for powerlifting, is the confidence that it gives me, both in my physical appearance, in my, mental fortitude, and the things that I'm able to do, which I'm just when people look at me and they're like, you're tiny, you can deadlift 400 pounds. That is a sense
of amazing,
of immense pride to me, because I've worked towards that goal 4 or 5 days a week, every week for 3 years. So to, be able to have that accomplishment on my belt now, and to look at, what's going on in the future, there's an enormous sense of personal satisfaction and pride that comes with that. So I would say that, if you're thinking about strength training or you're just starting, it's addicting. Get after it. It'll change your life. It really will. So.
Love it. Well said. That's really great stuff. I always say too, one of my buddies, Zach Evernesh, he's a mentor of mine, and we say you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's really like how you grow. That's how you get better. Whether it be in the gym or business or in life, you got to sometimes go out of your comfort zone to really kind of get to that next level. So, really great advice. So, do you have any kind of like parting words for people, or where can people find you if they want to learn more or like follow like what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have to thank you for reaching out to me. I was number one really surprised because I just don't think that people have a whole lot of interest in, I guess, hearing from me as an individual. um, but I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Actually, you are the first person who I've ever spoken to. Number one, about my powerlifting career, but number two, about the adversity and the things that I've faced along the way here. So I have to thank you, because before, actually up until today, I wasn't even sure I was going to talk to you about it, and then you're just so welcoming and so sweet. So that made that easy for me. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, my name is Megan Wilbur, at Megan Wilbur on Instagram. So that's MAGHANWILBUR. I don't post a whole lot on Facebook unless you guys like to see pictures of my dog, but you can also find me there at the same name.
Awesome.
I don't have a Twitter. I do have a Snapchat, but that's just mostly like selfies on the train, so that's also probably not super interesting. But if you're interested in my training, definitely go to my Instagram. That's where all the fun stuff happens.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to close out the recording soon, but definitely to stay on before after I close out. So, guys, definitely let's show Mag some love. Drop a comment below if this interview helped you, or maybe if you know somebody that can help. Please share it. Check out the links below. Give Mags a follow, and thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. So,
thanks, guys.
All right, bye, guys.